Then for standard mobile manufacturers, Nokia, Samsung, BlackBerry, Apple, they have their own specific CPUs and drivers driving them, such that I cannot use the CPU or the driver that I will use in driving Nokia that is not MTK based to drive a Techno that is MTK based. So in that case, mostly for MTK, you have your own driver that once it's installed on the system, any phone that is based, that has a CPU based on MTK, you need not get a special driver to drive it before the system can recognize such phone. Since the MTK driver has been installed, pre-installed in the system, each time you bring a phone that is MTK based, the system will recognize it and drive it for operation. If what you are doing is, for instance, flashing a Nokia phone, you needed to get their own Nokia suite. They have their own, they call Nokia Office Suite or Nokia Suite. So if you get Nokia Suite installed on the system, it will, whenever you are bringing in Nokia phone, it will see it, pick it, and recognize it. If you are doing for Apple, for instance, Apple phones, iTunes, once you install iTunes on your system, once any Apple phone is coming onto your system, the system will recognize it, because you have a CPU for every of these phones, and once the system is seeing them, it needed to see the driver that is saying that, okay, what I've seen is not, since they are not plug and play, so you need the driver for the system to recognize it, and the driver must be installed, pre-installed on the system before you even attach the mobile phone. But in some instances, if you don't even know the CPU they use, you can attach it. If you attach to the system and you are connected online, the system will identify it, but will tell you that it cannot be derived. So if it has indicated that this particular phone cannot be driven, the only thing you can do that it cannot be driven, okay, you click on the message you got and go online to get the driver downloaded and installed on the system, such that whenever you are bringing that type of phone, it will see the driver and it will drive it. Once it is driven, then the next stage is for you to download the software. Once the phone itself is driven by the system, then the next thing is for you to download the software and the flash tool. Because what you are doing is a flash operation, and in a flash operation, you need, for every particular phone, like this phone I'm holding, these are ROG phone that has its own software file, a firmware file, but we'll be using flash tool, SP flash tool, to flash it. So if you have a Techno, for instance, it has its own flash tool and its own flash file. If you are, for instance, doing Samsung has what we call KIES or Odin to write their file. Sony, they have their own flash tool as well that you use in writing their software. Nokia uses Phoenix to write their software. Like I mentioned earlier on, Apple uses, and BlackBerry, we have the BlackBerry desktop manager, and for their latest or the recent phones being done by, you have BlackBerry Link from OS 10 above, and you use desktop manager from the lower OS up to OS 7. So all these mobile phone manufacturers, they have their separate and peculiar flash tools to carry out flash operation. After having downloaded the flash tool, you're talking about downloading three things now. You download the driver so that the system can interact with that particular device. Then you download the flash tool to use in flashing or reprogramming the phone, as the case may be. Then thirdly, you download the software itself made for that particular phone. So every phone comes with their own software aside from the driver and the other ones I've mentioned. Then if you have gotten all this, at times some of them may be executable files, and some of them will just be WIRA file, a file that has been compressed with a WIRA file, WIRA software, so that when you bring up online, there is a way the flash tool will make it that you load it. Aside from the flash tool, these other phones, especially the standard manufacturers, they have boxes that some software engineers have designed for them. The boxes are software, they are hardware, but as software that is connecting them and some security features that will make them connect with the phone. Like these two I'm holding, these two boxes. One is called JAV, just another flasher. This is used in flashing Nokia phones. This is UFS box, universal flash software. It's a very strong box. It has a lot of phones that it can work on. It can work on Nokia, it can work on Samsung, it can work on Motorola, it can work on Sony Ericsson. It's a multifunctional box, UFS box. Here is another box called Exit Tools. So if you don't have the flash tool I talk about, if you buy some of these boxes, it will help you to flash your phone. This one is used for Sony Ericsson majorly. It does some Samsung phones, but it's not that much onto Samsung phone. It's majorly for Sony Ericsson. And lastly, the boxes available to me, I have the Z3X box. This one is meant for Samsung phones, and if you have LG activation, it can also work for LG. So there are two activations on this box. So you pay for the activation. If the activation you have paid for is just for Samsung, it will only connect to Samsung. If your activation is also extended to that of LG, it will incorporate LG into the flashing process. Now, all that said, those are the tools we needed for flashing. If you are using software box or you are using a flash tool. This is a UFX box. This is Z3X box. Z3X box. This SC2 Z23 box. And this JAV box for Nokia. This one is strictly for Nokia.